Welcome back to the 24/7 Sports College Basketball Show. We are breaking down the evening session on Friday. You've had your dinner, you're back, you're going to watch another 8 games, and it's going to start with Florida and Norfolk State, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time. We all got the Gators moving on. It's just a matter of if you have them moving on to San Antonio, maybe winning a national championship. It's 7:10, Troy versus Kentucky. Trotter, real quick, because we've all got Kentucky. Does Troy have a shot at this one if Lamont Butler doesn't play?
Absolutely have a shot in this one. Top 100 teams that Kentucky's played, when Lamont Butler's not on the floor, they have a -7 net rating. And Troy, they can play some defense. I love the personnel with this group. Tayton Conaway and Miles Rigsby, 2 extremely big physical point of attack defenders. If they can turn Kentucky over, they can absolutely stay in this one. I picked Kentucky, but admittedly, I don't feel great about it because I think there's going to be times where Troy is going to be very, very competitive, very feisty, and this one is going to stay very close until maybe the final 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I picked Kentucky, too. I think Mark Pope has done an incredible job, and I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that they're playing without Kirk Kriisa. They're playing without Jackson Robinson. Lamont Butler is going to try, but the bottom line is Travis Perry has been playing 30 minutes a night, and he wasn't even in the rotation on opening night because he was brought in to be a 4-year local player, and now he's a starting point guard playing 30 minutes a game. Give Mark Pope credit. He's making lemonade this year. I'm not sure how he's doing it, but this is a tougher game than I think people are alluding to. 7:25 on Friday night, guys, is one of the most anticipated games of the evening. We've got New Mexico against Marquette. You both have New Mexico in this one, scoring a mini upset. Chris, tell me why that's going to happen.
I mean, Shaka Smart's got to be like, you got to be kidding me. I lost your dad 3 times, and I get you as a draw in the NCAA tournament. Both these teams turn each other over. It's going to be interesting. Cam Jones, almost 20-6. With Donovan Dink gets 20-6. Cam Jones almost gets the same thing. They're 2 of the top guards in the country in that regard. I mean, it comes down to Nelly Jr. Joseph and not having rim protection, and that is with Ben Gold inside for Marquette. It's going to be an up and down game. And you're talking about games to watch. You're talking about, teams flying up and down the floor. At the end of the day, paint points for New Mexico is going to be huge. They led the Mountain West in that. And that's the one thing that scares me about Marquette. And the reason why I'm picking New Mexico, because they are so streaky from the 3-point line. And Cam Jones is an excellent player, but so streaky. I'm taking Donovan Dent, Player of the Year. Richard Pitino continues to move this bus. He has done a tremendous job losing J.T. Toppin, losing Jamal Mashburn Jr. to Temple, and look at the job he's done. Won the Mountain West for the first time outright since 2013. He's a guy that's hot on the market, and I'm taking him and move on.
No arguments there. Richard Pitino has done an incredible job all season long. I will tell you what, though, guys, if I'm Shaka Smart, I think I've got legitimate beef here because, I said this on Monday's show, that New Mexico has absolutely every piece of intel, every play call, every set, everything St. John's has got from those 3 games. New Mexico has the benefit of that. Heck, they've got Rick Pitino's old center. Nelly Jr. Joseph played for him and started at the 5 at Iona. They've got everything. It's an inherent advantage for New Mexico. But you know what? I still think Cam Jones and Shaka Smart find a way. We're going to find out. It's going to be a heck of a game, 7:25 Friday night. At 7:35, and I love the Friday night shots. You got 4 going all the time. You can go picture-in-picture on 2 different screens. It's great time. Akron against Arizona. We all have Arizona, but Trotter, I'm going to pose to you the same question I did a few minutes ago about Troy. There is a path here for Akron, right? What could it be?
I actually don't know if I see one. Akron ramping up the possessions against Arizona, that's been a death sentence against Tommy Lloyd teams. Playing fast against Arizona is not the way to do it. And KJ Lewis is going to get out in transition. Jaden Bradley's going to get out in transition. Caleb Love is super big. Arizona's enormous. Akron is so small, one of the smallest teams in college basketball. So I think the path for Akron to do this is to hit about 45 to 46% of their threes. If that doesn't happen, Arizona's just going to bludgeon them on the glass and in transition. I like Arizona, and I like them by margin. I think they rock and roll in this one.
All right, interesting enough. Caleb Love, man, he just makes me nervous. You never know who's going to – you never know if he's going 10 of 15 or if he's going 2 of 15 with 7 turnovers. And if that happens, it's nothing good's going to happen. The late slate on Friday begins with the 2-time defending champions UConn against Oklahoma at 9:25. Chris, nobody's picking against Danny Hurley here. I haven't heard one expert on this network do so. How confident are you that the Huskies move on to face Florida in the second round?
Again, you get me back to the 14 teams picked in the SEC, and Oklahoma has a 6-12 record. You got to be kidding me! I played in the Big East my senior year. We were 11-7 and didn't get in the NCAA tournament, and we were tied for second in the Big East. So I'm just saying, like, I'm already the animus towards that is something that I'm not happy about. But Porter Moser is a tremendous coach. Jeremiah Fears, I mean, you're talking about the kid who got a chance to be a lottery pick. But as you mentioned, you're playing against a big-time coach, two-time national championship coach. They have rim protection inside with two bigs. And the question for them, Caravan's great, Liam McNeely is great, solo ball I love, big wings. The point guard position, and that's where Oklahoma wins. But I think that the experience, I think the size will overwhelm them. But Hassan Diarra and Aiden Mahaney, they scare me to death. And it is the only reason that this team, in my opinion, has struggled, because their block rate is still extremely high. They just can't do it at the point of attack.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. At midseason, we were talking about this as a point guard and center problem. I think the center position has been addressed because Terrace Reed has continued to ascend. The point guard position is still unpredictable. Aiden Mahaney had a couple minutes. Hassan Diarra is starting to get back from that injury, but the point guard spot is just not where it has been historically for this UConn team. All right, guys, Xavier got past Texas in the first four, and now they have an Illinois team that could beat Jekyll and Hyde. Chris, real direct, who wins this game?
Listen, I'm going to go Xavier. I think a healthy Fremantle. I think Ryan Conwell is on an absolute heater. Sean Miller has been a 3 Elite Eights. This team is very experienced. Dalen Swain as a big-time athlete. I really like the way they're playing. They won 7 of their last 8 games going into the Big East tournament. This team is to be feared. They were supposed to be really good last year, had a ton of injuries. Now they're healthy, and I'm telling you right now, it counts when you have a coach who's been in the tournament. And listen, Illinois has an exceptional. Brad Underwood has done a tremendous job as well, but you can't rely on freshmen other than Cooper Flagg. Jasper Tunis, I love him, but at the end of the day, when you're counting on the guy, as you say, the team's Jekyll and Hyde, but as a player, he's been Jekyll and Hyde as well. I'm taking the experience in Xavier.
Trotter, I feel like this Illinois team could lose this game. I feel like they might even make a run to San Antonio. Where are you at with the Illini?
This is a tough matchup, I think, for both teams, because Xavier's small guards, Davion McKnight, Illinois has murdered small guards all season long. They go right at those type of guards with their big, strong, physical ones. And I think that the 5-out ability of Tomi Avicic is a real game changer here, just to pull Zach Fremantle away from the rim. When he's away from the rim, Xavier has 0 rim protection. And Illinois is a team that takes a ton of shots at the rim and shoots over 62% at the rim as a team. That's the path for Illinois. If they get three-point happy, they're losing.
All right, guys, at 10 o'clock Eastern time, we've got Michigan State facing Bryant in the 2:15 game. Everybody's got Tom Izzo moving on. I'm not going to make a pick. Phil Martelli Jr., can you believe that disrespect they're giving you? Earl Timberlake, former top 40 prospect in the country, who knows? Let's wrap it up with this. Liberty at Oregon. Trotter, does Liberty have any kind of shot at all?
They do if they can find a way to stop Nate Biddle, who I think has been one of my favorite players in college basketball this year. Liberty has a little bit of an undersized front court. Their starting center is 6'8". Liberty is another one that Zach. I'm blanking on his name now all of a sudden. But they've had multiple times here where big men against them have very much dominated them. Daniel Bacho had 24 and 12. Matas Vokaitis from FAU had a big game against them, 17 points and 6 rebounds in 22 minutes. So if they can't guard Nate Biddle, that's going to be an issue for them. Here's the other factor with Liberty. They're the only team in college basketball this year with a 10% gap or more on what they shoot from 3 and what their opponents shoot from 3. That's a huge outlier. So the regression monster is always looming here. I just think that the big guards for Oregon and their big inside Nate Biddle just have their way at the rim.
All right, there's a look at what's going to happen when Liberty meets Oregon. Remember, it is a 1 in 3 chance that a 12 seed knocks out a 5